This past summer, I built my own ghetto-ass air conditioner to travel 750 miles through scorching desert heat. And yes, slowly lost my mind while doing it. But why build my own AC in the first place? Because I am broke. See, it would have cost $800 to get this thing fixed professionally. And I was like, no, I'd rather have a stroke, thank you. I'm starting with an AC design from the King of Random. This fan pushes air in, which gets cooled by ice and then fed out these PVC pipes. It's super simple, but I could make it simpler. If you think about it, my car is just a huge gas-powered fan. Let's ditch the fan and figure out a way to get air from outside my car to inside the box. And this is my solution! It's exactly what it looks like! A lampshade attached to a gutter hose! Stop laughing. It's not funny. It's actually hilarious. I, of course, had to cut the lampshade a little bit to make it fit. You see those sparks? It smelled like brain damage, which I'm a big fan of if you can't already tell. You know, maybe it's not the most street legal thing in the world, but it was pulling air into my car.
Yeah, that's air, let's go.
We'll fix the traffic violation later. Next, I worked on the box, which was as simple as cutting out holes on the box. Hey, that kind of looks like a face. No, don't do what you're thinking. God damn it, no! Next, cut the PVC pipes. You're probably wondering what they're for. They're for crack. No, just kidding. This step's important to the AC. Listen up. The pipes need to be just the right length. If they're too short, hot air will escape and not mix with the ice. And if they're too long, I won't get any air. They need to be about an inch off the ground so air is forced to mix with the ice and come out cooled. When I was done cutting, I was left with all this white, powdery stuff. And as we've established, I'm an engineer. I also found this when I went to Home Depot. I didn't even know they had these. I can explain. When I came to, the AC box was finished. That meant it was time for our first test. I filled it up with about 2.5 pounds of ice and hit the road.
Oh, it's totally blowing cold, yes! It's working! And I'm only going 17 miles an hour right now. That cone up there is working so well. Oh, that is blowing so much cold air out. And yeah, we're only going 40 miles an hour. I just gotta look. It's air conditioning.
Success! I can begin my trip back home. We'll be putting this AC through the ultimate test as we travel through the Mojave Desert. Wow! It's supposed to be 98 degrees when I leave, 109 degrees at Las Vegas, and 108 degrees at St. George, where the Mojave Desert ends, as well as my sanity. There will be some surprise stops too, like when I need to refill my AC. Which reminds me, how much ice will I need? Well, I did the math, and I need a shit ton of ice. That's a lot of money, and I don't know if you could tell, but I'm not exactly Mr. Beast. Hopefully taking the lampshade off won't use as much ice. Also, no more traffic violations. But if I need to reattach it, I stopped by Home Depot for some supplies.
I just went to Home Depot and I asked for rope and tape, and the guy I asked it to gave me a weird look. Which reminds me, I have a hostage in the back of my car I'd like to introduce you guys to.
I began my trip. This was the first time getting up to 80 miles per hour. I was worried. Would I get enough air? Would my hose fall off? Neither. It worked spectacularly. You can see it almost had enough air to take the lid off, as well as sounding like a jet engine. For the first time in 9 months, my car had cool air. But within the first hour, disaster struck.
It's been about an hour. The cooler here is now blowing warm air, so I filled that thing full. It's already blowing warm. I have a check engine light here. I'm currently at an auto zone. And I'm gonna see what's going on.
I didn't know what I was going to do. Would I have to fly back and discard this video? Would I need to wait a week and pay $2,000 for repairs? Luckily, I had family near there, so I contacted them and they helped me save this video. Somehow, a line had gotten disconnected, which we fixed with some heat shrink tube. It was janky, but hey. With the scare over, I refilled using about 8 pounds of ice. 40 minutes went by before I felt warm air. So 3.5 hours into the trip, I made my third stop in Barstow, California. It was 96 degrees. I was hot.
Goodness!
The squirrels were hot, so I gave them the water from the AC, refilled, and resumed travel. But not before taking some time to remember what brought me to California in the first place. A little event called Open Sauce. Heard of it? If not, well, that's your problem. It was hilarious, seeing people's inventions.
Oh, I can drive it? Yeah!
Touching the ass of the inflatable Among Us, and I got to meet a lot of people we all watch on YouTube. Yeah, that's William Osman. It was dope, dude. And now we're at my fourth stop, Baker, California. Even without the lampshade, I ran out of air in about 30 minutes. It was supposed to be 109 degrees here, but according to the world's largest thermometer, it was 112. I thought, you know, since this place is close to Death Valley, this should be the hottest part of the trip. But I was wrong. So very wrong.
Yay, traffic. And I have no AC.
At this point, I was suffering. Once I left Baker, I only had AC for 30 minutes. That meant by the time I got to Vegas, I had been without AC for a whole hour. I didn't have any other option but to roll down my windows, desperately trying to cool off.
118 fucking degrees.
I was becoming hot and paranoid. I thought Vegas had it out for me. Was this video the ultimate sin? And was Sin City just trying to eliminate the competition?
After being stuck in that traffic, I refilled the ice container out of Chevron. It feels so good to have AC again. 121 fucking degrees! What the fuck?
My AC only ran for about 20 minutes, but I enjoyed every second of it. Which meant the other 1.5 hours to St. George were miserable. And by the time I got there, I had it. Still 118 degrees, I stripped down, and I threw my clothes in the backseat of my car. Sorry to anyone who may have seen it. And I didn't care to refill the AC, I just wanted to be out of this hell. And you can tell that I really wasn't making the best decisions at this point. But I ended up refilling my AC 2 more times, and on my last refill, noticing it was getting darker and that it would soon begin to cool off, I decided to use the last light to leave you with some last words.
I think we can safely say my invention here works. I survived the hottest part of the trip in the Mojave Desert, and I came out alive and with everything working.
But would I do it all again? Fuck no!